We have been studying the meaning and the import of the Purusha Sukta. In Purusha Sukta, we are studying the 7th mantra. Grishma idma sharadhavihi saptasya sanparidhaya tris sapta samidha kritaha devaya dhyajnantan vanaha abadhan purusham pashum. That's what we are studying. In that we have to take up tris sapta samidha kritaha. Tri sapta. Tris sapta means 3 times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21. So they made 21 samidhaha. Samit means twigs. So they took up 21 samits. But as I mentioned last time, even before the creation, where are the twigs? So therefore it is the 21 is a mystic number. So what does this 21 represent? It starts from the 7 paridhis which we talked about last time, that is the 7 boundaries. Then I mentioned the 7 boundaries of the yajna is in the altar other than the east. In the east it is protected by Surya, therefore we do not need the darba grass to be placed in the east, whereas only in the south, west and in the north 2 each darbas are kept. So 6, 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 plus sun himself is the 7th, the 7 paridhis. But these 7 paridhis, paridhi also means that which is going to protect. So when you protect, the protection hides the protected, isn't it? So for example, we are in the house, we are protected by the walls, therefore there is privacy inside the house. So that means you hide whatever is inside the paridhi. So how do we hide? In 7 ways, the mantras, its powers are hidden in 7 ways. So the Sanskrit term for hiding is called chandas. So chandas means that which hides. Chandas also means the meter. So there are 7 chandas of the Veda. The first chandas is called Gayatri. In Gayatri chandas, there are 3 lines of 8 letters each. So there are 24 letters in the Gayatri chandas. So of the 7, number 1 is Gayatri. And please note that Gayatri also refers to Surya, which means that of the 7 paridhis, one of the paridhi is Surya. So the chandas also starts with Gayatri chandas, which is Surya. See, this is the consistency of our Vedic sages. So Surya representing Gayatri with 24 letters, 8 times 3. Then we have 28 letters. I have spoken in great detail about the Chandas Shastra earlier, a couple of years ago. So if you go back to our repository, you can see in the Shat Shastras I have spoken, Chandas Shastra also I have given much detail, so I'll give you only the abbreviation. So the second one is Ushnik. Ushnik is 28 letters and then it is 4 lines of 7 letters each. Then the third one is called Anushtup. It is 4 lines of 8 letters each, 32. This is the most popular chandas. Ramayana, Mahabharata, all the Puranas, and even to this day, compositions are done very comfortably in the Anushtup chandas. Even you and I can compose if we want to. So the fifth one is called Brihati chandas, which is 36 letters and 9 times 4. Then the fifth one is called Pankti, which is 10 times 4, 40 letters. Then you have the sixth one, which is called Trishtup, which is 44, 11 times 4, and Jagati, which is 48, 12 times 4. Also you see it begins with Gayatri, which addresses Surya. It ends with the Jagati, which has got 12 letters each, which is Dvadasha Adityas or 12 Suryas. So that is why you see importance of Surya in the Yajna, importance of Surya in Purusha Sukta, because Surya also is the one who reveals everything perfectly. Sushto Rati, it is Surya. So the 21 in terms of chandas or meter or speech, articulation, and then communication, all of these are covered by this 21. So a subject matter is protected by on all sides by means of proper articulation or proper speech. Proper speech backed up by accurate thinking. So this 21 also is represented now as far as communication and speech is concerned. In our heritage, walk is considered as a devata, speech is considered as a devata, and it is the one which connects the phenomenal world with the transcendental world, and therefore Vak Devi Chushatam Havihi. So we have many mantras relating to walk. Daivim Vachamajananta Devaha. Gods first created the goddess called walk or speech. So therefore speech is considered as very, very sacred and noble. Anything we speak is never lost. Please note that very important point. Any utterance that comes out and it goes into the cosmos will be there forever. And therefore it is very important as to how we speak. If we speak wholesomely, it will remain in that way. Any apashabda that comes, any bad word that comes out of our mouth will be there forever. With a stamp, just like we send packets in information technology, you will have an address and that address will come to us. This is the doctrine of karma and so on and so forth. So the 21 also has to relate to time now after speech. So time also is something that creates a boundary of an event. So the 21 is broken up into the 12 months plus 5 seasons. Even though we have 6 seasons in our tradition, the 6 seasons being Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharat, Hemanta and Shishira. We have 6 seasons. But Hemanta and Shishira, that is pre-winter and winter, are usually clubbed. Sometimes they are not clubbed, sometimes they are clubbed. So here in this case 12 months, 5 Rutus, that is 17, and then 3 worlds, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, and then 1 Surya again, totaling to 21. So a time is bounded by these 21 elements again. So Tris Sapta Sameda Krita. So you bind speech by 21, you bind time by 21, and then Jnanendriyas, the 5 organs of knowledge, Karmendriyas, the 5 organs of action, the Panchabhutas, the 5 great elements, the Panchapranas, then Manas. All of these things are also clubbed and made into 21. In another Sankhya, as a basis of Sankhya, the Prakriti, the Mahat, Ahankara, the Trigunas, the Pancha Mahabhutas, and the Sukshma Bhutas like Shabdadi, all of those things are also add up to 21. So thus you will see that everything that can be manifested, either in a gross form or in a subtle form, can be reduced to only 21. So this is the numerology of our Vedic rishis. So these 21, all these 21 have to be encircling the yajna. And therefore the sages at the beginning of the creation, Trisaptas Sameda Krita. So they could have simply said the Ekavimshati to mean 21. Why did they say Trisaptaha? It is because to help us analyze how the 3 gunas can react with the 7 other elements, how the 3 shariras, Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira, react with the 7 aspects of the creation. So to indicate that it is made as Trisapta. I have presumed so much of background knowledge in making these statements. We have gone over this in great depth earlier also. So therefore, Devaha Yajnam Tanvanaha, Devaha, all the gods, Yajnam Tanvanaha, the Sanskrit word Tanu comes from the root Tanu Vistare, that means one which expands. Otherwise, how can you justify that a baby which is newborn, which is hardly 6 to 8, 9 inches long, will grow into a 6 feet person? How is that possible? It is because Tana Vistare. So it is so that a person will 18 inches, okay? This is where the form will make us forget the substance. So it's very easy to lose substance, isn't it? So Tana Vistare is how something which is infinitesimal can grow into universal. Tana Vistare. So Devaha Yajnam Tanvanaha. The concept called Yajna has to be expanded. So in the process of expansion of the concept of Yajna, what did they do? Purusham Pashum Abadhan. They went and caught hold of the Purusha, and then this Purusha was tied to a peg. And then Paridhayaha Saptaha Asan. So they took these 7 paridhis and then encircled the Yajna. And then the 21 Samit they took and they created this. This we actually dramatize in all the Yajnas at the time of the Purnahuti. So in Purnahuti we chant a mantra, Saptate Agne Samidhas Sapta Jihva Sapta Rishaya Saptadhama Priyani Saptahotra Saptadhatva Yajante Saptayonira Pranasvaghritena Swaha. So we use this mantra. You can see all 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Saptate He Agne Te Jihvaha Sapta. When you parse this, reorganize this mantra into a prose format, what does it become? Oh Agni, you have 7 tongues. And then the Sapta Rishayaha, the 7 rishis will worship you. And then you are in Saptadhama in 7 locations. 7 persons 7 entities who worship you. They are there, Saptahotraha, Saptadhatva Yajanti. They worship you with 7 kinds of materials. Saptayonirhi Apranasva. Purify the 7 locuses of my ahankara, mamakara, my attachment to I, the sense of I and mine. So there is also a philosophical basis. So I will not go too much into the expansion of this mantra because we'll get an opportunity to do that later on. So we say Abadhan Purusham Pashum. So which Purusha are we talking about here? We tied a Purusha, a person, to a peg for offering as a sacrifice. That means this Purusha will be dismembered and offered into the Yajna. Which Purusha are we talking about? Because if we are talking about the highest Parama Purusha, you cannot, because the Parama Purusha or the highest Purusha is infinite, unfathomable, and is unmanifest. And therefore, that's not the Purusha we are talking about. So, what Purusha is this mantra talking about? This mantra is talking about our selfish, limited, small personality which is full of ego. This ego laden personality is being tied. So in a little technical terms here, if a yajna is performed with a sacrificial animal offering, so that the animal does not run away, you have to have a peg. So where you are not doing a sacrifice of an animal, you don't need a peg, isn't it? So that peg is technically called as yupa. So in the Vedic studies, there is a systematic way of doing. In the kindergarten, we learn only how to chant the mantras, rightly, wrongly, or so. And then from there you go to Kramapata, Padapata. That is, you parse with every word. Then Kramapata, you do permutations and combinations. Go to Ganapata. After Ganapata, you do what is known as Lakshanapata. That's why a person who goes very deep into the study of a Veda, he is also called as a Lakshananta Patha. That means Ganapatis are there, Kramapatis are there. There is a Lakshananta Patis are there. Yeah. So you have to go right up to that. I'll give you one clue as to what Lakshana is. Suppose you go to a person who has gone to the highest PhD state of studying the Lakshana, then that person would say a Lakshana Vakya to explain this. The Lakshana Vakya is Atha Yajna Ayupaha Kratavasayupaha. Like that, he will give a definition. Atha, at this point, Yajna Ayupaha. You perform a Yajna. For that, you don't have a sacrificial animal, and therefore you don't need a peg. Ayupaha. Yupa means peg. Ayupa means without peg. Kratavaha sayupaha. So for every single word of the Veda, a Lakshananta person will be able to give a definition like this. So in the course of our study, I will show you some of the very critical Lakshana statements so that you will get a flavor as to how to study the Veda. Otherwise, we will be misinterpreting the Veda, we will be wrongly understanding. Then, Purusha Sukta is one of the most, badly interpreted text, especially by Western students. So therefore, we have got to be very cautious. Unless you go right up to the Lakshana stage, you will not be able to understand the Vedic word. However, therefore, this Purusha, Abadnan Purusham Pashum, this small Purusha is actually tied down. So he is actually tied down because we have to actually offer this Purusha for the sacrifice in the Agni or in the fire. So this ego-laden Purusha has got to be, all his ego has got to be chopped off. Essence has to be left. That essence is the prasada you take. The essence has to be left. The rest of them has got to be sacrificed. So what you do is you take this person, which is yourself, you take this person who has the human quality of an animal instinct. See, whenever we say a human quality, we presuppose that we have no animal instinct. It's far from truth, isn't it? As a human beings, we manifest a lot of animal instincts, and now this Upanishad is saying, the mantra is saying, the animalistic part of this Purusha, the human, you take it out, and then Anatmani Atmabhavaha Yaha Asti. Whatever is there in your thinking, that in the non-Atman, you impose Atmabhava, and that Atmabhava is taken out and then put in the sacrifice. And for that, what are the tools you require? The tools you require is the Sapta Paridhis of all the iterations I have talked about, Paridhis of Chandas, because you have to use the proper meter so that you can communicate effectively. So you pick up the proper meter, you pick up the proper words, and then you pick up the proper seasons, you pick up the proper deities who protect all these, and then with all their cooperation, the Sapta Hotrubhyaha, the 7 rishis, are the ones who conduct this yajna because they have realized jnanena hinaha pashubhis samanaha. Those who are lacking in the knowledge of the self are equal to animals. So that is why this yajna is being performed, so that all the animalistic in is taken. So therefore, tameva avadhan purusham pashu, this purusham pashum avadhan. So they actually decimate. Therefore, this Purusha Sukta is a Jnana Yajna. So there is a parsing of this concept in the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata it says, Dvyaksharantu bhavet mrityuhu. If you form a word taking 2 letters, it becomes mrityu. Mrityu means death. Triyaksharantu. If you take 3 letters, Brahma Shashvatam. 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 3 letters. When you use the word Shashvatam means it is equal to Brahma. And this word has got 3 letters. That is why Trisapta Samida Krata. So the mantra takes 3. Otherwise it would have just said, reformatted it and said Ekavimshati. Mama iti bhavet mrityuhu. When you say mama, then it is death. Na mama iti cha shashvatam. This is why in all the Homa, what do we say? Mahaganapataya idam na mama. Mahavishnava idam na mama. So what is it? Normally we understand namama means not mine. Yes, it is not mine. But when you use namama iti shashvatam, authority, Mahabharata. So this Anatma Purusha, what is his form? Again we have to go back to the same mantra. Trisapta Samidha Kritaha. Samidha means what? The twigs. What do you do with the twigs in a yajna? You throw them into the fire. Isn't it? You dip it into ghee, throw them into fire. Ghee is representing intellect. Ghee represents wisdom. So you take this twig, which is to be burned, which is all this ignorance that I am talking about, dip it into the ghee called knowledge, and throw it into the fire and burn it away. So, in this Anatma Purusha consists of all the 21 items that I so far listed in number of ways. As soon as we speak, even the most deep and profound concept that you speak, its original power is lost. That is why we must internalize the concept and we must become quiet. Then only the total experience is there. But for the sake of teaching, you have to use this speech. So what does the Upanishad, what does this mantra, this sukta do? What this sukta does is it uses speech, and then after using speech, ask us to become quiet. Because the Rishi says, until you completely become quiet, until such time you will not see this import of the Anatma being created, because the moment we talk, it is Anatma only talking, isn't it? So this Bhumi, etc., all up to the Mahat that we listed, the 21, all of them are Anatma only, and therefore Purusham Pashum Abadnan. So this is a very difficult mantra to understand. This particular mantra. That's why I spent so much time. And also, curiously, this is the 7th mantra. Again, 7, 7, 7, 7 in every way, and the mantra is also the 7th mantra. Hari Om.